Hi guys, how are you doing? So this is Christelle from Tricot Stitch. Thank you very much for joining me for a new podcast episode. So that's episode 7 and I'm very happy to be with you again this week. So this is a podcast about knitting and dyeing, yarn dyeing. And forgive the crazy outfit. It's just that the days lately have been crazy hot, crazy warm for this time of year. And this morning it's still quite early, but the sun is slowly arriving, so we might end the podcast in the sun. I have my shades. And I've been holding to that summery feeling, and I wanted to, it's a bit for a few days I've been dressing with my more summer outfits, which are clearly not warm enough for this morning. So I added layers. So I have my beloved hat. I mean, as soon as it's summer, this goes on my head. I paint my toes and I say bye to closed shoes or things like that. So I also have my my little summery tee, but I still have to wear this this, and I don't show you my big furry boots. So I'm in between, one leg in summer and one leg in I don't know what. Winter, something like that. Okay, but I think I'm longing for summer, and it's strange because I'm at heart I am really an autumn person. I long for autumn like most knitters do, I think. But I think each season has lots of interesting things and things I love, and yeah, summer definitely. So how are you guys? Are you doing well? So we are in the 6th week of lockdown here in France. So I live in France, near Paris. And so we have more information on the end of the lockdown. So it's going to be very progressive. It's on May the 11th. Some part of the kids, depending on their classes, well, not on their classes, depending on the year they're attending, are going to go back to school from Monday the 11th. So for those who are just finishing kindergarten, those who have just started the elementary school and who are learning to read, and those who are about to finish elementary school. So prior to go to college for us. So college is not the same thing as your college. Our college is for kids aged 11, from 11 to 14. So that's a good news. That's a good piece of news because one of the reasons the week has been particularly difficult it's because of homeschooling, really. So I'm homeschooling. I have 4 kids and I'm homeschooling 3 of them because my youngest is not even 2 yet, so she doesn't go to school. But they're 12, 9, 6, and almost 2. She's 2 months shy of 2. And boy, is it challenging. Oh my. So the first Monday, that's Monday of last week, my husband homeschooled instead of me because I had to dye some yarn and he had a day off. So I was, yes, that's one morning of my homeschooling days. And I was very happy, but also a bit jealous because it went so smoothly with him. I mean, that's completely unfair. Even Constant, who is 6 and who is in the last year of kindergarten, who is usually, I mean, is always stalling, he doesn't want to work, he's always telling me that he's tired, he doesn't want to write, he doesn't want to read, he doesn't want to do anything apart from playing outside or playing on the PlayStation. And with his father, miracle. Everything went smoothly, he was okay to do anything. He worked the whole morning while I fight to have him working for 10 minutes in a row. Oh, just hold on one sec. We escaped kin invasion. So it's Sunday morning and my husband is looking after the kids this morning, and I asked him to have a moment alone in the back garden. And we were short of this to be invaded by kids. Okay. So, unfair, completely unfair. So I tried to surf on the, fatherly wave of good work with Constant, and it worked quite well until for the day after, Tuesday, and from Thursday on, it was back to square one. I mean, okay, he will be the first to go back to school, and that's such a good piece of news. Yeah, so apart from that, the week was also very difficult because I have some very close member of my family. I'm very lucky to still have both my parents, but both have chronic conditions, and one of them is doing very poorly. So it's a lot of, and I can't go and see them because they live 1 hour from here. So it's nothing usually. But in those times, I mean, it's like they were 1,000 kilometers away. It's the same. So yeah, it's been really worrying, and not being able to be there for them, and it's really difficult. So I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one in that situation, having to deal with that type of anxiety and stress about your family. I don't know how you're coping. My way of coping is to continue doing things, even if I don't feel like it, because when you're working for yourself, I mean, it's the case for everyone, but it's especially true when you're working for yourself and you don't have a boss or external constraints to make you work. You are like on a roller coaster. You have very big ups and downs, ups and downs. So when you are in an up phase, it's wonderful, everything will be okay, and you are trusting and motivated, and everything is cool. And when it's the down phase, it's pretty difficult to get up in the morning to have anything done. So, and in those times, you tell yourself that why bother, it will never work, you are not worth it, and things like that. And I mean, it's really a cycle. You always have ups and downs, ups and downs, and so you have to be working with that on a daily basis. And it's true that having that kind of on top of that anxiety because of the chronic diseases of your loved ones, it's like I have to manage 2 cycles of ups and downs. And honestly, because I mean, it's not because we are on social media that we have to tell everyone everything is completely fine all the time. It's not true. And there have been 2 days this week that were really difficult, and I really had to struggle just to get out of bed. Well, that's not true. I don't have the choice. I have to get out of bed because of the kids. But yeah, I really had to struggle to leave the couch. Yeah. And well, how do I manage? I don't know how you are coping with that when you are in that kind of situation. Some time ago, I decided to cut me some slack. I mean, I know I'm not a lazy person. I love my job. I love what I do. I love dyeing yarn. I love knitting. I love interacting with you guys. And so if I am not in the mood to do that, so be it. I give myself a bit of time. I know it's a cycle, and soon everything will be fine again. You know, you just need to take some time for yourself and allow yourself not to be at your peak performance all the time. And yeah. So, difficult week. Hopefully the next one will be better. But don't hesitate to share in the comments how you are coping in those dark times when you are ridden with anxiety. I'm really always, you know, I'm very curious about ways of coping and ways to keep on going despite adversity. So do not hesitate to share that with me. It would be very interesting to start a discussion on that. Okay, that's it for the lockdown. What are we going to open the podcast with once the lockdown is done? What are we going to talk about? Well, don't worry, I have lots of ideas. So I will jump directly into the projects, okay? Some progress, not crazy progress, but some progress. So that baby is back on the needles. I decided to just do what Julie told us to do at the beginning. So I will do 20 rounds of increase. I kept the light blue because I thought that after all it's a scrappy sweater. It doesn't bother me much that if it's not, you know, only colors that I love. It's okay, it's just the global harmony. So I'm back into pinks and blues, and yeah, I did my nails. It's a bit chipped now. I'm going to remove it, but when I'm feeling down, I paint my nails. And that bright pink, I love that. Okay, so that baby is growing. I still have 4 rounds of increases to work, and then I will separate the body and the sleeves. And also I saw pictures of the finished sweater on Julie's Instagram, and it's really pretty loose even on the sleeves, so that's okay with me. I mean, that's fine. So I'm just going to keep on working on that. It's really great, comforting knit, and I love to be able to knit stockinette stitch in the round. It's very soothing, and oh yeah, and I forgot to tell you, 2 weeks ago I started watching the Gilmore Girls. I never watched it before, so I've just started season 3, and yeah, I love it. And it's the perfect pick-me-up series to watch. To me, it's been perfect in that regard. I mean, I needed something really light and funny, and to watch, you know, to keep my mind wandering too much on things too worrying. And it was perfect. It was perfect. So I'm really enjoying it. And this is, to me, I think I started the whatever sweater when I started watching the Gilmore Girls. So both will be eternally linked in my mind. So yeah, I'm going to keep on working on that baby, and yeah. Okay, so I'm going to talk to you about the Jimmy Cal now, because I'm making progress. I'm still on track. And for those of you receiving the newsletter, I want to stress out again that it's really not usual for me to be on track after 3 weeks of planning. Usually I make crazy plannings, very complicated plannings, and I never stick to them. Depending on the length of the event the planning is about, at 1/10 of the planning, I'm off. So yeah, it's really something to stress out that I'm still on track with that project. That's saying something. So you see what I did here? I changed the color theme. I went with everything neon from the start, and there I'm introducing some neutrals. And if you remember my color, yeah, the colors I chose when I started the project, there were 3 neutrals actually, those 3. So I think I'm going to use them maybe in the lace border, or I'm not completely clear yet how this is going to work out, but I think neutrals go very well with fluorescent yellow. Yeah. Oh, that's also this one. It's cute. One color I have not used yet is framboise sous acide, which is quite strange because, you know, I'm putting framboise sous acide absolutely everywhere. It will play its part at some point. Oh, and in the series of My Daughter is Wonderful, she made a little gift for me. It's a little, you know, thing to mark your page in a book. And it's really cute. She did that little card. I love that. I love everything tea related and hot beverage related. So that one says tea is not a drink, it's a hug. And I agree. She's so sweet. Okay. So that big bag, I told you last week that I would be starting on the lace this week, but I was mistaken. I think the lace is not in my foreseeable future. Not this week, not next week. I think I still have some stockinette to knit. Not much, but still a bit. Okay, the accompanying read along. So Murder at the Vicarage. I'm not on track at all. I completely forgot to read it. I mean, I thought I had. I mean, the days are completely mixing in my head. Each week resembles the next and the past one. So I'm really not clear about what day it is or things like that. And I really honestly thought that I had read the part for the week. So I didn't. So I have double the reading to do this week, but that's okay because I like that novel very much. So more on that next week. Oh, one thing I did read is the book for the sorry, I'm not very organized this week. One thing I did read is the book for the book club with my daughter. And it was one of my friends' turn to do the summary and ask the questions, and we were on track. I mean, we listened half of it early in the week and the other half just before the call, but that was okay. And for next week, it's my turn to do the summary and ask the question, and I'm wrapping up the book because it's the last 3 chapters. So I have work to do. And also we get to give some suggestions for the book for May. So my daughter and her friends wanted to read something in the Goosebumps series, and I think that's very cool to change a bit, to change completely the level of the reading. It's going to be nice to alternate between classics and things more of their age. Well, I really look forward to that. She is a big fan of Slappy, the puppet. I will tell you which one we choose. We are going to vote. The other project, Brioche Queen. So I still have a couple of tutorials to film because I was not able to do almost, well, I didn't have to do anything last week. It was crazy because of the homeschooling thing, so I didn't have time to make progress on the films. But what I did is that I made my mind about the dates. So I will be repeating that, but the important dates for you is that the pattern will be published on the 21st of May. That's a Thursday. You will be able to order your kit or pre-order your kit if everything is gone, starting Thursday, May the 7th. The test is going to start Tuesday, the testing is going to start Tuesday, May the 5th for 15 days. And I still need 2 testers for the English version. So if there is some amongst you who would like to test the pattern, please get in touch with me. I still need 2 people to test it. Ideally, if you're new to brioche, it would be perfect, or not very experienced. And testers get 20% off the kits. I can give you all the details by email, but if you wish to test, just get in touch. I will send the kits to testers on Thursday, this coming Thursday, Thursday, April 30th, and I'm currently working on finalizing all the color combinations and taking pictures and everything to help testers choose which color they want to test. There will be testing for the adult version, but I'm also preparing a kid version. Yep, that's it for the key dates. So everything is going well. I still have a lot of work to do to finalize everything, but that's completely doable if I don't have too much downs. So the kits, there will be 2 possibilities. Either there will be a limited amount of half skin kits, so that will be 35 euros, and you will also be able to choose full skin kits at 70 euros. And you will have the possibility to buy at the same time a coordinated marker, progress marker, well, beginning of the round marker, but with a lobster clasp, and the pattern. And about the pattern alone, given it's not your classical pattern, it's more of like a workshop, it will be priced accordingly. So I still have to make the to see how it translates, because I will know the price for French people, but depending on your country, your VAT is not the same, so I will not be able to give you the exact amount, but it will more be around 8 euros, the price for this pattern. When you buy it with the kit, it will only be 5 euros, and there will also be a launch discount for my newsletter subscribers. I think I will give 20% off for a limited amount of time. So everything will be sent in the newsletter. You will get all the information. I also plan, because I've been, thinking a lot about color combinations, and I think I've taken like 30 photos, and I'm not going to be able to offer 30 different half skin kits. It's not going I'm not going to be able to do that. So I will choose, and choosing like you're giving up on other options, it's really difficult, but I found a middle ground. I'm going to put some kits, half skin kits, up for ordering, because some will be ready and I will be able to have some for pre-orders. So those will be up in the shop. And what I'm going to do is that I'm going to stock the shop with slub, mohair and fingering. And I've started to write a blog post about alternate color combinations, to give you some inspiration if you are not really happy with the existing color combinations. I will prepare something to offer you ideas for other color combinations that you can match yourself in the shop. But the one you are going to do yourself will be only in full skins. I hope that's clear. That's why I wanted to, because there are a lot of options. You have slub and mohair as the basis, but then for the fingering weight, you have lots of options. You have the sock weight, you have the single weight, well, all fingering weight, but you have the sock yarn, single yarn, the stellina, the lurex. Stellina is golden sparkles and lurex is silver sparkles, and you have the minis, so that's 5 options. And if you add to that the colors of the fingering, the colors of the slab and the colors of the mohair, you end up with bazillions of color combinations. That's why I wanted to maybe design myself on, let's say, 8 color combinations for the kits, and then leave you guys free to choose what you want and mix and match what you want. It's clear in my mind, but I still have some working out to do. Okay, and that's it for the knitting. So you see, not much done this week. It was kind of a done week. I did a lot on the dyeing front because I had 2 dyeing sessions last week, and I was able to dye pre-orders as well as yarn for the kits and for the shop. So I'm going to share that with you now. I will be starting with the kits. So a customer requested a variation of Dirty Rainbow with more white on the skin and no black speckle. So it's not the same colorway because it's really different. Dirty Rainbow is not only speckles, it has some dye stock applied on the skin as well as speckles, and it has not many white spaces, white areas. So I created that colorway and I decided to name it Bright Rainbow. I didn't want to go into Clean Rainbow or things like that because I didn't want to to go on that territory. So that's Bright Rainbow on single and on slub. So both will be in the shop, and I'm going to offer a kit with bright rainbow for Brioche Queen Call, for the Brioche Queen Call. And that kit will be that one. It's going to be a very spring-like. So that's mohair and silk on champagne rosé, and that's a single on the colorway is pomme sous acide. It's the little friend of framboise sous acide. And I think it's going to be very fresh, very neon and pastels, my favorites. So that's going to be one of the half skin colors available for the Brioche Queen Call. And I dyed several ones, so that one, I think there will be one in the shop like this and one in the shop like this. Okay, another colorway I've talked several times about another Brioche Queen Call kit I wanted to dye in the blues and grays. And I'm very happy with that colorway. It's called Lone Peak. And it has several shades of blues, so dark blue, more like turquoise, with grays, different shades of grays. And there are some speckles in there as well. So there are some dark green speckles, and a bit of fluorescent yellow. My signature. You have also some blue speckling happening here. And so I thought that would look really lovely with light grey. So I have my silver lining colorway here, which I dyed on Lurex. That's a sparkly yarn, and mohair and silk. And I had a very hard time deciding if I paired that slub with greys or blues. And I decided for the half skin kit to go with the greys, but I dyed a bunch of Long Night, and I think Long Night is also very lovely with that one. So I don't know. I'm really hesitating between that and the one I've just showed you, but I think I will stick with the greys for the kit and put the blues as a color alternative on the blog post and available in the shop in full skins. So that's another Brioche Queen Call. So I've not shown you what it is, but in case you're watching me for the first time, the Brioche Queen Call is that pattern coming soon, so on May 21st. Okay, and it's using 3 different types of yarn. You have the slub and the mohair held together for the dark color, and the fingering for the light color, and it gives a dreamy fabric. It's very soft and squishy, and I love it. I've knitted 2, and I have 3 other ones on the needles right now, because I wanted to test. At the beginning, I wanted to test each and every colorway. Last week, I told you I would be experiencing the colorway almost black and white on slub, and I did it. And I should have started with that. I mean, they were made for each other. I love that so much. And I really, you know, I've been feeling the urge to cast something else with that, to cast on a shawl and something completely different. So yeah, back on track. The last Brioche Queen Call I want to show you is, so that's almost black and white, déplacement de stock, which is basically fluorescent yellow, together with darker things on lurex. And what got me really inspired is that in the last dye batch, I dyed some Eleanor on Stellina. So that's the more discreet golden speckles base. And I think those together, I love that. I want to knit something with that. So I resisted the urge to cast on something new because I really need to make progress on the other projects. I just cannot abandon my, I cannot give up on my whatever sweater, on my Jimmy, and if I start something else, it's something other that will be completely forgotten. So I'm resisting the urge, but it's difficult. That will be in the shop. Eleanor on Stellina. The Stellina base is really a big favorite of mine. This is Éclat de Soleil on the Stellina base as well. And I don't know if you can see it, but it's really a base that's so soft, and it has that very sleek feeling to it. Less like this has a more woolen feel to it, and this is softer, like there is no silk in that, but that's the feeling you get. It's much silkier than the lurex, which has a more woolen touch. So I dyed almost black and white on lurex, on slub, but also on the Stellina base, and this is going to go in the shop as well, and it's really beautiful on the Stellina base. I love that. I'm going to dye more of that base. That's Pomme sous acide on the lurex base. It doesn't take, I don't know if I can show you side by side, but definitely the lurex has a personality of its own. It takes the dye really differently. I mean, I've dyed those two together, and yet it's not exactly the same colors. What did I dye? 2 Champagne Rosé on single will go in the shop. So that's the colorways that I dye using the bath exhaustion technique. And I dyed also, well, I had a batch of Éclat de Soleil, which usually it's that color, Éclat de Soleil. It's a warm yellow with pink undertones, and I had one that is slightly more on the yellow side, lighter yellow and more neon. So it will go in the shop as well, and it's called Éclat de Soleil Light because it's a bit different, but I don't know why. Sometimes you cannot explain. I don't feel I did things differently, but maybe it was the amount of well, maybe the pH or something like that. I don't know. And I think I've showed you everything. What did really almost keep me up at night was that. I really felt the urge. Oh, you see the sun? I told you it would be there before the end of the podcast. I really felt the urge to cast something with that. A shawl, a big shawl with brioche, maybe a brioche goddess. Just, you know, to have another pattern for learning brioche, and that time learn brioche back and forth and not in the round. And I think this is a thing. It's going to happen. I really want to finish the other projects before, especially Brioche Queen, but I think there's a Brioche Goddess in our collective future. And I think it might be with that. I love it. Okay, guys, that's it for this week. Yeah, on the reading front, I'm still reading the same thing and I've not made any big progress. Everything is good with you, and I wish you a lovely week, and I look forward to see you next week. Bye bye.